I had this document open for 3 weeks, just blank, staring at me every time I opened my laptop. I kept telling myself I'd start writing when I had a better idea, when I felt inspired, when I actually knew what I wanted to say. But that day never came. The document just stayed blank. We do this with everything, don't we? We wait, collect information, watch tutorials, read books, bookmark articles, and tell ourselves we're preparing, but really, we're just scared. Scared it won't be good. Scared we'll look stupid. Scared we'll start and realize we have no idea what we're doing. So we don't start. We wait for some imaginary version of ourselves who's braver, smarter, more ready. But that person doesn't exist. You know what I realized staring at that blank document? Clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. Because thinking has limits. You can sit with an idea for weeks and still not understand it properly. But the moment you act on it, even in a small way, it starts to reveal itself. Action is like turning on a light in a dark room. You don't see everything at once, but you finally see enough to move forward. You don't figure out what to write by planning. You figure it out by writing badly and then fixing it. You don't learn to draw by studying anatomy for 6 months. You learn by drawing terrible hands until they stop looking like fleshy spiders. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. And yeah, starting is humiliating. Your first attempt is always worse than you imagined. It's clunky. It doesn't work. You feel like an imposter. But that feeling isn't a sign you shouldn't be doing it. That's just what learning feels like. Most people misunderstand this part. They think successful people started confident. They didn't. They started uncertain, awkward, and often wrong. The difference is not that they avoided failure, it's that they didn't treat failure as a full stop. They treated it as input. Every single person who's ever been good at something went through that phase. They just didn't stop. They began anyway. Kierkegaard said something I think about a lot: life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. That's the trap. We want full understanding before we move. We want certainty before we act. But life refuses to work that way. So we stay stuck at the beginning, waiting for clarity that only motion can create. I finally wrote something in that document. It was bad, really bad. But the second I started typing, something shifted. Ideas came, not because I was ready, but because I was engaged. Movement created momentum. And suddenly the blank page wasn't a threat anymore. It was just a surface to work on. That's when it clicks. You were never stuck because you lacked ability. You were stuck because you hadn't started. And starting is the only real permission you ever need. So maybe that's the real lesson here. You don't wait until you're ready. You don't wait until you know what you're doing. You don't wait until the fear goes away. You just begin badly, messily, imperfectly, because nothing in your life will change until you do. The book doesn't write itself while you're researching. The business doesn't build itself while you're planning. The skill doesn't develop while you're watching other people do it. You have to start today, right now. Even if it's terrible, especially if it's terrible.